Part 78. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 771. And now, their dark camp has no choice. According to the current situation, the dark camp can only fight for their lives. The final result is very likely to end in the complete collapse of the dark camp. Too tragic. Who can resist this kind of thing? Zhu Rong's face could not help but become more and more difficult to look. So humble. How has the dark camp ever suffered such humiliation? The glory of the past is gone forever. The determination to fight to the death will also be completely condensed. Lord Angel of Heaven, we have passed the heart demon devouring spirit formation. Let's bring a demon fruit that promised us. Yes, you promised just now that as long as we can pass the heart demon devouring spirit formation, you will give us the demon god fruit. Now this promise should be fulfilled, right? We are all alive. It's really not easy to live. That's right. Lord Angel of Heavenly Demon comes from the Demon Heaven Pavilion, so naturally we don't know the bitterness of our little people. Lord Angel, you must say something. Ha! You don't talk like this, we are panicking. Get the devil fruit. This devil fruit is something we've worked so hard to get our lives for, so you can't cheat us, right? That's right. There's no such thing. Lord Angel. You must give us an explanation. Give an explanation. We don't agree. Messed up? Totally messed up? Zhu Rong took a deep breath and looked at the troublesome crowd in front of him. He can't wait to slap them all to death. Dare to come and threaten him? What do you mean? Are they all floating? At this moment, even Zhu Rong didn't dare to suppress it casually. After all, interests are involved, and the assessors of these dark camps have completely stood on the same front. Once he dares to do things that hurt their interests, I'm afraid there will be no peace in the future. Zhu Rong clenched his hands tightly, and the blue veins burst out on his forehead. Although I feel helpless, I can only support it. If he has hundreds of thousands of devil fruits on him, it will be distributed. But the point is, he wrote a bad check. This kind of devil fruit, he only has a few. Everyone. You are all warriors of the gods. Enter the ruins of the gods. Fight for the dark side. This is the will of the gods. The devil fruit promised by this envoy will naturally not lack you. Your names have been deeply written down by me. When you return triumphantly from the ruins of the gods, it should be yours, and it will still be yours. I, Zhu Rong, swear in the name of Motion Pavilion. Zhu Rong made an oath. But the crowd below went mad. I'm CAO. Pit us. Maid, didn't you say that you would immediately release a devil fruit through the heart devil devouring spirit formation? Damn you. Can you do this? Do you want to force your face? Give you a face? What the hell? That's all? How can you be the angel of the demon pavilion? Talking is like farting. What kind of shit? Brothers. Stop playing with him. Let's go home. It's boring. The devil fruit is not in place, the labor and management will stay here. There is nowhere to go. Whoever wants to go to the gods' ruins. Grass. The bright camp has passed so many assessors, let's go in, is it still a death? Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 772. The dark camp suddenly had a noisy voice, each swearing, looking very unhappy. The situation is clearly messed up. Zhu Rong tried to kill the chaos several times, but in the end he held back. He has to remind himself that everything has to be calm. The current situation, he can't control it at all. The dark camp is completely gone. If he forcibly kills, it is very likely that he will directly arouse the rebellious hearts of these people. At that time, the forces of the major dark camps will directly rise up. It's really cold. Everyone, you are all warriors of the gods of the dark camp. Zhurong opened his mouth and was about to forcibly play the emotional card. Stop talking nonsense. Take out the devil fruit. Motion Pavilion is also a 7th rank force, but it goes back on its word. Can you become the leader of our dark camp just like this? Grass. Otherwise, let's do it. Hee, it's exactly what I want. It's better to follow the bright camp. That's it. It won't be so annoying. Spicy chicken is spicy chicken. Just do it the other way around. The emotions of the crowd seem to be a little excited. At every turn, everything will be hanged. Who said my motion pavilion didn't keep my promise? However, with only a few 100,000 pieces of devil fruit, my devil heaven pavilion will not break my promise. Suddenly, a high-pitched voice came, and Zhurong's face subconsciously showed fury. What the hell is going on here? Confused about him. Who is talking nonsense there? Do you really think that the angel of this day has no temper? Humph. Zhurong snorted coldly, looking extremely violent. What? The envoy doesn't even have the right to speak now. Zhurong Tianmo messenger is so majestic. A black-robed man floated in the distance, with an indescribable noble aura all over his body. Zhou, Lord Zhou. Zhurong glanced from a distance, and his eyes suddenly burst. Immediately, he put down his body and went to greet him. Lord Zhouji, why are you here? It was all my nonsense just now, don't take it to heart. Zhurong took a deep breath and closed with cold sweat on his forehead. So exciting. It almost got cold. This is the god and demon messenger of Motion Pavilion. A powerful existence higher than him, the angel of the demon. If this guy gets angry, he can be killed casually. At this moment, I naturally dare not slack off. It's actually the envoy of the gods and demons of Zhou value. Hey, this is the first-class big man of the Motion Pavilion. Even this one is here, there is such a big disturbance in the ruins of the gods. Shhhhhh, don't talk, just stay here. That's not right, but I seem to have heard the god and demon messenger from the Motion Pavilion just now say that hundreds of thousands of devil fruit are not in his eyes at all. Could it be? Do you want to give us benefits? Motion Pavilion is all the way, are you sure you can give you benefits? Don't be a daydream. What daydream? Is a god and demon messenger talking about this big thing? The appraisers of the dark camp were particularly excited, and they all focused their attention on this messenger of gods and demons. It was already very obvious what it meant. Zhouji, the messenger of Demon Heaven Pavilion, glanced around indifferently, and had a panoramic view of everything. Facing the flattering angelic messenger Zhurong in front of him, he didn't take a second look from beginning to end. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 773. For these ordinary practitioners of the dark camp, the angel of the devil may be a high-ranking existence, but for him, he can kill with only one hand. Anyone who passes the heart demon devouring spirit formation will be rewarded with a demon god fruit. Those who are willing to stay and continue to participate in the war will be rewarded with a devil fruit again. There will be no direct punishment for those who quit out of fear, but those who quit midway will be directly on the blacklist of my Motion Pavilion. Those who are on the blacklist of my Motion Pavilion will not be allowed to enter my Motion Pavilion for the rest of their lives. If you dare to defect and enter the bright camp, Motion Pavilion will do everything in your power to directly chase and kill. The voice of the demon messenger of the demon heaven pavilion seemed very indifferent, and the indifferent voices scattered, showing a kind of awe-inspiring domineering. Hey, worthy of being the envoy of the gods and demons of the motion pavilion, he is indeed domineering. And, much more generous than that angelic messenger. Just like this, it limits our freedom. If we want to quit now, motion pavilion will not let us go. Hey, even if we want to turn our heads to the bright camp at this moment, it's too late. If people chase and kill them in an all-round way, our little lives still can't be saved. Isn't this a bit too miserable? Hee, what do you think? Nothing is more miserable than this. Hey, if you want me to say, just continue to participate in the war, continue to participate in the assessment, and you can get 2 devil fruits at one time. I will definitely be promoted this time. Dark camp, never give up. Continue to fight to the end. What are you panicking about? What are you messing about? Keep fighting and you're done. The messenger of gods and demons is invincible. The messengers of gods and demons fight to the end. The morale of the dark camp is stretched again. Bright camp. Lord Xiling, why did you appear here? I will solve the matter here. Qin Hai looked at the plump young woman in front of him with a respectful face, and did not dare to be slighted at all. With the identity of this person in front of him, he can't afford to provoke him. Fang Fan glanced at Qin Hai in surprise. Qin Hai was already the inspector of the Golden Throne of the Holy Heaven Alliance. It can be said that in the Holy Sky Alliance, he also belongs to the kind of high-ranking real power figures. I didn't expect to be so humble at this moment. It is conceivable that this plump young woman in front of you will not be too simple. Among the Holy Heaven Alliance, there are not many people who can make a Golden Throne inspector so humble. I couldn't find anything from the young woman in front of me. Aside from being a little more beautiful, looking pretty good, and being extra feminine, there are no other characteristics, right? This time, the matter of the ruins of the gods is not so simple. The Holy Heaven Alliance has paid great attention to it, and this time I sent me here, to send you some geniuses. This is the absolute genius elite selected by the 8th rank forces of the Holy Heaven Alliance and some bright camps. This time, they are all going to be put into the relics of the gods to experience. According to the calculations of the supreme powerhouses of our Holy Heaven Alliance, there may be a divine source in the ruins of the gods. The value of these divine sources is too high, even our Holy Heaven Alliance must take it seriously. These people do not need to participate in the assessment, and directly arrange to enter the ruins of the gods. This time I negotiated with the dark camp, and each sent 1,000 talents. The plump young woman pointed to a group of young men and women behind her and said indifferently. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 774. Shen Yuan? So that's the case. With divine source, it's easy to comprehend the power of the law. This is a good opportunity to cultivate genius. Qin Hai nodded secretly, and at the same time glanced behind the plump young woman. Genius. Absolute genius. All of them are geniuses above the quasi-true king of the 9-star king level. And they are all under the age of 100 bones. The Holy Heavenly Alliance and those 8th rank forces may have already brought out the geniuses at the bottom of the box. Well, by the way, I think the assessment of the second concern about the demon-devouring spirit formation has ended. How many assessors are left in our bright camp? Are there 600,000? The plump young woman Xiling frowned and asked. According to her speculation, it is almost the same number. The range will not exceed 100,000. For it. Qin Hai suddenly pondered. Number 600,000. It's a pity, only 500,000. 500,000 is 500,000. The final chaos seems to be more rigorous. The plump young woman Xiling said to herself there, looking a little surprised. Not 500,000. Qin Hai hurriedly wanted to explain. Not even 500,000. Qin Hai? How on earth do you do things? Don't you think you are quite reliable on weekdays? Although it is said that the battle for the relics of the gods is mainly based on the geniuses I brought here, but, if the divisional assessment field gets too few places, our bright camp will fall into a clear disadvantage. The plump young woman frowned suddenly, looking very dissatisfied. She felt that Qin Hai had gone too far this time. Lord Xiling, listen to my explanation. It's not really 500,000. But 4.1 billion. Qin Hai took a breath and shrugged secretly. He didn't find a chance to speak just now, it was too difficult for him. 41 billion. Are you sure it's not 10,000? The plump young woman's pupils are wide open, and at this moment, even the words are a little unclear. The body couldn't help leaning forward, and his hands were directly on Qin Hai's arms. Hiss. It hurts, Lord Xiling. Qin Hai's mouth twitched in pain, he was too difficult. It's really 4.1 billion. These are all people who have passed the first level, 10,000 arrows piercing the heart, and the second concern about the demon-devouring spirit formation. The reason why the pass rate can be increased to this level this time is mainly because of the existence of the King-level Serum card and the King-level Healing card. Qin Hai explained it directly, and deliberately took out Fang Fan's selfless dedication and mentioned it. Sira card? Suppressing inner demons. Healing card? Healing elixir? Instantly recover the injury. You made all these things. The plump young woman suddenly walked up to Fang Fan, her almond eyes focused on Fang Fan. Yes. Fang Fan shrugged helplessly, he didn't want to be high profile, Qin Hai is unreliable. My bright camp actually has a character like you. Not bad, very good. The plump young woman's body suddenly came closer, a smile appeared on her face, and she gently hooked Go Fangfan's chin. Fang Fan subconsciously wanted to resist, but his body was exhausted. Am I being molested by a hooligan? Fang Fan wants to cry without tears. Add 10 million Shengtian Alliance contribution points to him. My Holy Heaven Alliance will reward you for meritorious deeds. If you make mistakes, you will be punished. The plump young woman suddenly said something, and then withdrew her hand. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 775. Fang Fan is a little confused. How does he feel that this is being molested for prostitution? Fang Fan would like to say something, labor and capital are not bad for this amount of money. But after thinking about it carefully, I chose to remain silent. 10 million contribution points from the Holy Heaven Alliance, that's 100,000 spirit crystals, don't do it for nothing. Interesting. While speaking, the plump young woman reached out her hand again. Don't touch my brother Fan. Just when the plump young woman made a move, Yun Xiaoxiao suddenly hugged Fang Fan's arm, then stretched out her white and tender arm, blocking Fang Fan's face. At such a young age, you know how to protect your brother, which is very good. Fang Fan looked satisfied, this girl didn't suffer in vain. What a cute little girl. 9-star King Realm. Innately close to the aura. Is it a body bestowed by God? The plump young woman's eyes flickered with light, she was particularly excited. Little girl, come under my command, be my direct disciple, and I will do my best to train you. The plump young woman Xiling looked at Yun Xiaoxiao excitedly, as if she had seen some peerless treasure. Brother Fan, this bad woman is terrible. Yun Xiaoxiao hung upside down on Fang Fan's body, panicked. Hearing Yun Xiaoxiao say this, the plump young woman's expression suddenly froze. Is she a bad woman? What's broken? Young man, is this little girl your sister? Send her to me for training, and within 100 years, I will return you to a supreme goddess." The plump young woman said grandly, looking confident. "Sorry, Xiao Xiao can do whatever she wants, and I can't force her. If she is willing to follow you, I will never stop her. But if she doesn't want to, no one can take her from me." Although Fang Fan also knew that the plump young woman in front of him had an unusual identity, what he should insist on, still insist. "Brother Fan, I just want to follow you. I don't want to be separated from you." Yun Xiao Xiao hugged Fang Fan's neck with a look of dependence. Fang Fan smiled, "What a little angel. You heard that too? Xiao Xiao, he doesn't want to, so, I'm sorry." Fang Fan shrugged. He was ready if the woman in front of him wanted to forcibly snatch Xiao Xiao, he was ready to send Xiao Xiao to Shushan Pavilion. Even at the risk of exposure, Xiao Xiao can't be put in danger. After all, she is so dependent on herself. In the heart of this little girl who has been traumatized, she really regards him as a relative comparable to her sister. Pity. Let her follow you, it's not destined to have much success. Oh, since you don't want to, then forget about it. This spirit gathering orb is given to you, it can make her physique use better. If you regret one day, you can come and find me. The plump young woman glanced at Xiao Xiao reluctantly, then handed over a green bead, then turned and left. Fang Fan frowned, looked at the spirit gathering orb in his hand, and carefully probed it several times to see if there were any restrictions or something, but Fang Fan still couldn't believe that woman. "Inspector Qin Hai, who is this bitch?" Fang Fan touched his chin and asked directly. "SHH, Palace Master Fang Fan, you are so open-mouthed. If Lord Xiling hears you call her, girl, I'm afraid I'll hunt you down to the ends of the earth." Qin Hai guiltily glanced around the group, seeing that no one was paying attention, he was secretly relieved. "You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 776. Seeing Qin Hai's cautious look, Fang Fan pouted, "Why is he so cautious? Lord Xiling is one of the 4 holy emperors of my Shengtian Pavilion. Just follow the orders of the leader, it is not something we can discuss." Qin Hai pulled Fang Fan and said cautiously. "One of the 4 holy emperors? The emperor's realm?" Fang Fan's eyes lit up, he secretly drank. No wonder Qin Hai is so respectful and flattering, it turned out to be a big difference. In other words, this is the first master of the emperor realm that Fang Fan has seen. This is an existence that is stronger than the so-called true king of the top. It's not just as simple as the emperor realm. If it's just an ordinary emperor realm, I don't need to be too lowly based on my identity and qualifications. It can only be said that the Holy Emperor must be the Emperor's Lord Realm, but the Emperor's Lord Realm may not necessarily be qualified to become the Holy Emperor of my Holy Heaven Alliance. Just now, Lord Xiling wanted to recruit this little girl as her direct disciple. This is an excellent opportunity. Qin Hai secretly sighed, feeling a pity. Fang Fan shrugged, feeling that it doesn't matter. Under his training, Xiao Xiao will only become better and stronger. Her god-slaughtering spirit body can also be used more fully. As for Qin Hai's ranting about a lot before, in fact, it is very simple to sum up. Probably, the Holy Emperor is a relatively powerful emperor? This time, even Fang Fan was a little surprised. I didn't expect that this plump young woman looked like a vase woman, and she actually had such a powerful strength. It's really unbelievable. Then these young geniuses she brought will also enter the ruins of the gods with us. Fang Fan glanced at the nearly 1,000 people on display, these were all brought by the woman just now. Well, I didn't expect the ruins of the gods to be so highly valued by the above. And it was actually detected that there is a heaven and earth treasure like Shen Yuan. This time, in the ruins of the gods, a bloody battle is inevitable. At that time, Hall Master Fang Fan still needs to be careful. Qin Hai sighed and looked at Fang Fan with concern. Having been with Fang Fan for so long, they have also developed some subtle friendships. Said to be a brother, but it hasn't reached that point yet. But it's absolutely no problem to know a confidant friend. If possible, Qin Hai naturally hopes that Fang Fan can be safe and sound. Don't worry, ordinary people can't hurt me. Fang Fan's words are not bragging. There are 8 8-star and 9-star king level legions, 4 8-star king level pets, 5 10-star king level weak real king hero guards. The safety factor is still very high. What's more, if it really can't be done, wouldn't it be better to hide in the Shushan Pavilion? Wretched development, impossible to waive. There's still one final test left. Assessors who pass this assessment will be able to get a place to enter the ruins of the gods. Qin Hai said, his brows could not help wrinkling suddenly, as if he was still a little worried. Before Fang Fan could inquire, Qin Hai had already volleyed into the air. At the same time, there is also Zhu Rong, the angel of the demon pavilion. The last level, a big fight. All the examiners of the light camp and the dark camp enter the battlefield of gods and demons, and fight endlessly. When the last 98,000 people are out of the competition, the battle will end. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 777. The sound of thunder came one after another, and Qin Hai, the inspector of the golden seat of the Holy Heaven Alliance, and Zhu Rong, the envoy of the demons from the Motion Pavilion, spoke together. Everyone's eyes were focused, and there was an unbelievable look in their eyes. Big fight? Isn't that just fighting each other? Before that, they also speculated what the third level might be. They have also thought about all kinds of bizarre fighting methods, but they never thought that it would be a big fight. Once the big brawl starts, unless you automatically quit, you can only fight to the end. This loss is too big, right? Qin Hai sighed lightly and saw everyone's expressions in his eyes. Sometimes, he was also moved and very helpless. In Qin Hai's opinion, there are more appraisers left in the bright camp, and fewer appraisers in the dark camp. Once collided on the battlefield of the great chaos, the bright camp should have some advantages. The best result is naturally that the appraisers of the bright camp share the same hatred and kill all the appraisers of the dark camp. But, so what? It will be a disaster when the assessors of the dark camp are killed, and then the assessors of the light camp are waiting. A heart-pounding disaster. How should the billions of appraisers of the bright camp deal with themselves? Then they can only fight each other through cannibalism. It's really going to be that time, and it's too late to solve all this. Totally late. But the rules are like this, and he also feels helpless. Fang Fan glanced at Qin Hai, but he understood why he was so worried in the first place. Such assessment rules are a good thing, but also a bad thing, for the assessors of the bright camp. But no matter what, in the end it has to go on. What this competition considers is one's own survivability, combat effectiveness, and capital. It is indeed capital. If it is covered by a powerful force, this force can unite and form its own small group, and then unite to protect itself. Fang Fan secretly thought to himself that he didn't feel much rejection for this kind of assessment rules. If you want to enter the ruins of the gods, and you want to get a place in the ruins of the gods, naturally it will not be so easy. How can you see the rainbow without going through a lot of wind and rain? Before that, let's promote the legion under my command again. At least in this way, the safety factor can be greatly guaranteed. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly. It's not a bad thing to become stronger anyway. The 40 billion divine crystals earned by selling the king-level healing cards have been fully used to upgrade the major legions, and there is not much left. After that, I also achieved sales of about 200 billion divine crystals through the sale of king-level serum cards. The profit is also around 40 billion divine crystals. 40 billion divine crystals, that is, the 40 billion king-level promotion card, which can almost be re-promoted from 3 8-star king-level legions to 9-star king-level. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly. If he could have 3 more 9-star king-level legions under his command, it would mean that there would be dozens more powerful combat powers. It turned out that Fang Fan was quite proud of the high-level combat power under his command, but after seeing the scale of the powerhouses of the Light Camp and the Dark Camp, Fang Fan fell into a kind of self-doubt. Especially the plump young woman from the Holy Heaven Alliance, that is, the 1000 bright camp geniuses brought by the Holy Emperor Xiling, all of them are at the 9-star king level or above. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 778. In addition, what's more, he already has the cultivation base of the 10-star weak real king realm. The strong, invincible. Choose to be promoted to the 8-star king level Abyss Demon Army. Ding. Consuming 13 billion king level promotion cards, the 8-star king level Abyss Demon Army was promoted to the 9-star king level Abyss Demon General Army. Continue to be promoted to the 8-star king level Yellow Turban Typing Warlock Legion. Ding. Consuming 14 billion king level promotion cards, the 8-star king level Yellow Turban Typing Warlock Legion was promoted to the 9-star king level. Continue to promote the Judgment Unicorn Legion. Ding. Consuming 12 billion king level promotion cards, the 8-star king level Ruling Unicorn Legion was promoted to the 9-star king level. At this moment, among the 8 major legions under Fang Fan's command, 5 have been promoted to the 9-star king level, and there are 4 8-star king levels. 9-star king level, 4-winged War Angel Army, Black Dragon Knight Army, Abyss Magic General Army, Yellow Scarf Peace Warlock Army, Ruling Unicorn Army. 8-star king class, Barbarian King Army, Dragon and Lion Knight Army, Gothic Super Sharpshooter Army. The Legion launch plan has begun to take effect. Plus 4 8-star king level pets and 5 10-star king level weak real king heroes. The size of this small group is not too small. In addition, there are the 8-star king Jing Yun Yun, the 9-star king Jing Yun Xiao Xiao. Besides, the biggest drag oil bottle floats in vain. After the rules of the chaos were issued, the reaction from the light camp was actually relatively small, and the people from the dark camp should be the most affected. After all, their numbers occupy an absolute disadvantage. Once they are targeted by the bright camp on the battlefield of gods and demons, they will surely die. So now, holding the devil fruit in his hand one by one, he hesitated. They really wanted to run away before, but after being fooled by the new messenger from Motion Pavilion, they had to stay and continue to participate in the assessment. The assessment is the assessment, and the anxiety in my heart is obvious. In the face of life and death, no one can casually remain indifferent. After all, it is true to save one's life. You don't need to worry, the bright camp is looking for a dead end this time. We've reached the 3rd level, and there are still so many scraps left there. It looks like a grand scale, but it's actually extremely bloated. As long as something happens, the situation will collapse directly. Then it will be the world of our dark camp. I have ordered all the Motion Pavilion spies who are in ambush in the bright camp. Once they enter the battlefield of the gods and demons, they will see an opportunity. At that time, you can completely kill while in chaos. It is said that the major forces in my dark camp are constantly fighting, and there is no solidarity at all. According to the envoy, when it comes to infighting, who can really compare to the scattered sand of the bright camp? Everyone. Fight. I believe in you. Wait for your triumphant return. The devil fruit is worth it. You are all the strongest warriors of my dark camp. The weekly value of the Demon Messenger of Motion Pavilion began to boost morale in an all-round way. Because these assessors of the dark camp were indeed hit a bit hard. If it is only measured by numbers, the number of people in the light camp today is tens of thousands of times that of the dark camp. Although the number cannot represent the whole, it is shocking enough. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 779. It can only be said that the Dark Camp is in a panic at this moment. It can only be said to be a conventional mentality. However, being fooled by the God and Demon Messenger of Motion Pavilion, the appraisers of these dark camps rekindled their hopes again. It turns out that the God and Demon Messenger has been prepared early in the morning. As expected of the God and Demon Messenger, it has never disappointed us. Yeah. It's really too strong. Hey, if that's the case, then there's no problem. When the spy of the Motion Pavilion on the battlefield of the gods and demons comes out, it will directly destroy the mentality of the dark camp. Tisk, that's very reasonable. Just thinking about it makes me feel refreshed. Who said it wasn't? There is a great opportunity in front of you, who can't be tempted. And the God and Demon Messenger has also promised that as long as you pass the final assessment and get the quota of the God's relic, you will be rewarded with 3 more demon god fruits. Hey, the messenger of gods and demons is too atmospheric, isn't it? Tisk, this is the God and Demon Messenger I know. Awesome. The envoys of gods and demons are invincible. The Demon Pavilion is invincible. By the way, have you been promoted after swallowing the previous 2 devil fruits? I've been promoted to a level. I was promoted from the 8-star king realm to the 9-star king realm. Heh, I seem to be a little bit worse. Hey, it's a pity, but if I can get 3 more devil fruits, I will definitely be able to advance. I also hope, if you can be promoted to the 10-star king level weak real king in one wave, that would be really cool. Anyway, we are all members of the dark camp. We must report to the group to keep warm. Don't be trapped by the bastards of the light camp. Seconded. I agree too. The number of assessors of the dark camp may be much smaller than that of the light camp, but one thing is certain, that is, these assessors of the dark camp are more united at the moment. We can share will and woe, but we cannot share wealth. That's probably what it's saying. From the analysis of various theories, it is completely correct. Lord God and Demon Messenger, you distributed so many devil fruits to them, isn't it a bit too extravagant? This is more than 1 million devil fruits. Zurong, the envoy of the Demon Heaven Pavilion, showed a pained look on his face. How good would it be if these devil fruits belonged to him? His 1,000 years of cultivation resources have been recovered. Idiot. Isn't it just to wipe your ass? Joji, the messenger of Demon Heaven Pavilion, snorted coldly, looking rather violent. Zurong's body trembled, and his forehead was covered in cold sweat. Is the messenger of gods and demons expressing dissatisfaction with me? Panic is inevitable. But you didn't do anything wrong. Joshi suddenly changed the conversation, and Zurong's tense heart just fell slowly, he was almost scared to death. The examiners of these dark camps are not only our Motion Pavilion. There are too many dark faction forces involved, and loyalty cannot be guaranteed at all. In this case, we can only achieve our original purpose through this temptation. You have done this very well before, and this is where I have to praise you. As for the consumption of some devil fruit, what's the point? The treasures in the ruins of the gods are enough to make up for these so-called losses. There is a divine source in the ruins of the gods. The pavilion master has been explaining, be sure to take back the source of God. Shen Yuan can not only help comprehend the deeper meaning of the law, it is very helpful for the cultivation of the Emperor realm. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 780. As the demon messenger of Motion Pavilion spoke, the smile on his face became even more. This is an opportunity. A perfect opportunity. Seizing this opportunity to get the source power of God, he can also benefit a lot. God source. So it is. No wonder. Lord Joji, there is one more thing. The reason why our dark camp has repeatedly suffered setbacks this time is because a little bastard named Fang Fan appeared in the light camp. This guy is the hall master of the 9th rank power palace of the Bright faction. Those weird king level healing cards and serum cards were created by him. With him there, it's not good for our dark camp. I think it's better to kill him early. He will definitely enter the chaos. When the time comes, the examiners of our dark camp will concentrate their firepower on the attack. That way he will surely die. Zhu Rong said gloomily. Because of the existence of the contract of God, he cannot directly attack Fangfan. But in brawl, there are no rules. The strong go up, the weak go back. It is so cruel. At that time, wouldn't it be easy for the assessors of the dark camp to target and kill someone? Fang Fan? Healing card? Serum card? Interesting. I gave the order, take the head of the mortal, and reward 100 devil fruit. The brawl begins. The light camp and the dark camp enter the battlefield of gods and demons simultaneously. The legions and heroes behind Fang Fan follow at any time, while his eyes are looking around. It is possible to see the true state of the light camp at this moment. One by one, they formed their own small groups, and started to report to the group to keep warm. Or an appraiser of an 8th rank force gathers together by himself. Or maybe several 9th rank forces are allied with each other. There is also an 8th rank force flying with a few 9th rank force assessors. As for the assessors of the Shentian Alliance, they are quite arrogant, and they all seem to want to fly solo. So scattered, is it possible for them to unite to attack the dark camp's assessors? Fang Fan shook his head slightly, but fortunately he never pinned his hopes on them. Otherwise, you won't know how to die if you are trapped to death. It's just not realistic. The battlefield of gods and demons is open. Those who want to quit can scream and admit defeat, and they can be directly excluded from the battlefield of gods and demons, and it also shows that you are completely eliminated by the battle of assessment. Whether it is killed or withdrawn, in the end, the battle will only be terminated when there are 98,000 creatures left in the battlefield of gods and demons. Go to war. There was a sound of lightness in the sky, and the era of belonging to the strong has begun. Kill. 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 I'm CAO. The people of Yaling Pavilion, are you crazy? We are all forces of the Bright Camp. You actually attacked me. Hee, who do you beat if you don't hit? Who made you Fifengzong the hottest chicken? Also, the last time I dared to fight against people in our Demon Spirit Pavilion, do you really think I don't know? I haven't asked you to settle the account. Today, I'm here to settle the account. Bye people. You are courting death. How dare you provoke our Xianyang Palace? Don't be afraid that our Xianyang Palace will kill you. Everyone is a force of the light camp. At this moment, you should kill those practitioners from the dark camp first.